Hey guys, Khalid from Cricket Fanatics Magazine here, and once again with another episode of the Lockdown series. And today we bring in a special guest again, Migael Pretorius, someone that you guys have asked for. And I don't know if Michael knows that, but there are a lot of loyal fans that uh, love you that have asked for me to have a chat with you and interview you on the shows and on this platform. So first and foremost, I just want to welcome you and say, how's it, Michael?
Yeah, good yourself. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. It's nice to be on.
Yeah, awesome, man. So, how we normally start this is I get into the lockdown show, and obviously, this being the lockdown show, we get into the lockdown and speak about what you as a player have been doing during this period with regards to your cricket skills and as well as fitness. Obviously, you being an all-rounder, you have two disciplines that you have to follow. So maybe you can give me some insight into what you've been doing with regards to fitness and obviously keeping your cricket skills sharp.
Yes, yeah. Well, I'm actually quite lucky. Just before the lockdown, I got a few. I got a few equipment, gym equipment stuff. So I've actually been just doing that. Didn't really have. I could have done. I did everything I wanted to, so that was nice. Bowling wise, I didn't do much of that. I did some wrist work and stuff, but it's been 3 long years, so it was actually a very good break. I actually focused more on batting this time, just hit some balls, tennis balls against the wall, try to work on some drills and stuff. So that's what I think I've been training, gymming a bit more than other training, but there's still a long off season for those things.
Yeah, and I also didn't notice that we're both wearing Kiwi jackets, so maybe Kiwi guys, and that wasn't planned. So maybe
Oh,
Kiwi would get on there with the sponsor, we wouldn't mind that.
it would be nice. Bloom is cold.
So, Michael, I wanted to ask you about those drills. You said about throwing tennis balls against the wall and hitting them back. Um, do you have a specific distance between the wall that you stand, for example, to give those type of tips to the young kids?
Well, depending on what I'm trying to do. If I'm working on seam, I try to get a bit closer, and then if I work on spin, I try to tend to go a bit further away to allow the ball to bounce and me try to have a bit more control over it. So it's just not a massive difference, but there is a difference. I do stand a bit away and closer and further. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. That's awesome. So let's get into the my favorite part of the show, and that's where I get to know you a little bit better and get to know your journey better. So let's start with the beginning because obviously this being a fanatics channel, you guys as players are probably the ultimate fanatics because you're doing what you love and something that you were fans of first. So let's start with you as a kid growing up. How did you get introduced to cricket?
Yeah, my dad used to, he used to do a lot of sports as well, and he just played with us in the backyard. We were never forced anything on us. We played rugby and cricket and athletics. We did everything, and cricket was just a thing that stuck. But it started there, like in Vanderbijls. It started there, and actually Fall Park and in the backyard, just playing. Holidays as well. My brother and I, we used to play a lot. We used to reenact test matches and stuff. So yeah, I think that's where the love for the game started.
What is your most fond memory about reenacting a test match? What was one of the test matches that stood out to you that you reenacted with your brothers?
Um, yes, I think it was grade 7. We played at Ashes, um, and I think the only reason why is the first time my brother actually played from the start to the finish. Normally, one of us would have left before we got angry before the game actually finished. So that's the only one that we really could finish.
And who did you mimic? Who were you as a player? Would you take different roles and be different players?
When we were young, it's to me watching Akhtar bowl, Shoaib Akhtar bowl. That was for us was the ultimate thing. I remember we used to sit and watch YouTube videos on and on and on just about him. So when I was young, it was mostly mostly bowling. I think I was a bit of better batsman when I was a bit younger. But Ricky Ponting, I used to like him as a batsman and Akhtar as a bowler. And as I grew older, it changed a bit. But yeah, and I think nowadays, I think I enjoy Watson. He's almost done now, but I enjoyed him. I enjoyed him now these days. Try and mimic him a bit.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to get a little bit to know your background a bit. Obviously, I think coming from Vereniging, it's quite a different place. It's not like your traditional place or city life. You don't have that type of lifestyle over there. It's quite different. So, can you give me some insight into what it was like growing up for you as a kid, your primary school years, and how you kept your love for cricket with regard to the playing the game?
Yeah, look, I was fortunate enough to go to school in Pretoria.
Mm.
Over the weekends, you were always back there. As you said, it was really just at the home, played in the bush and stuff. So we enjoyed that. But I think my brother helped with that part a lot. We both really loved sport. So that's basically what we did over weekends. We played cricket, played rugby, played golf. So I think that's where it started. It was a bit. I think I'm very fortunate not going to a school in Van der Bijl. I think I would have probably changed my mind and did something else. But having the opportunity to go to a school in Pretoria and stuff, I think that helped a lot. Just growing a bit mentally and stuff as well, and knowing that okay, I can actually do this for me as a job. So yeah.
Yeah. So I would assume that your cricket would have really taken off when you moved to Waterkloof. Going to high school over there. I know they're one of the top schools in cricket in Pretoria. What was that experience like? And do you have fond memories of some of the players that you played against and played with? Also, what was the level of cricket like? Because obviously Pretoria is quite a massive school with a lot of big schools, and you play against a lot of the big Joburg schools as well.
Yeah, well, I think probably the fondest memory of playing against someone was Quinton. We smashed us at Keys, across those two cricket fields that cross. But I think that's probably I remember that. But I think the time I was there, we had a pretty strong side. Back then, Danru Ferns, he's also left now, and Janeman played with him, and Henko Forsman. We had a bunch of very good players, and I think that helped a lot as well. I believe as well if you play in a school where there's other strong players and stuff, you tend to grow a lot more.
Yeah.
But that was awesome for me. I mean, we had really strong competition, and well, we did well as well, so it really helped.
Yeah, so you mentioned playing against Quinny, and a lot of people would obviously want to know what it was like to see him and play against him. And also not just him, but there's so many other players that you mentioned as well. But particularly with Quinton, what made him special at the school level?
Yes, I think the fact that you could feel you were bowling to someone that's on a different level. He used to smash everyone from ball one, and he just it never looked like he cared. So that to us was kind of a shock, because you hear about this guy, and then finally when you get to the opportunity to play, he just absolutely it was so ruthless. I mean, but that was, I think, to me, that was awesome to watch. Even though he smashed us, man, I still enjoyed the show. So
Yeah, and with regards to your all-rounder ability, obviously the difficult thing will be to be able to juggle both. When did you kind of realize that it's both that you wanted to do? Because you mentioned that you were obviously a batsman first, or batting was you were a better batsman first. You think that you were. When did the bowling aspect come into play? Was it when you maybe shot up in high school, got taller, or what was the defining factor that made you decide, okay, cool, I want to be an all-rounder here?
yeah, I was in primary school. I did both, but my batting was a lot better. And as I went to high school, I got a injury in grade 8, and I actually just started batting, and I didn't really worry about bowling too much. And then I think it was grade 10, Johan Miller said, "Listen, we need you to bowl as well." And then it changed a bit there. I became more bowling. almost actually just bowled in at the end of high school, and after school, with Chris Godhouse and stuff, and he got me into batting again. And then from there, I really started enjoying it. But I mean, I feel even now, I feel like I need to get that part. I need to get the both on the same level. And I think there's a opportunity for that. But it was but grade 10 where I really actually started bowling a bit more than batting.
So now the interesting part, because you've been your career has been if you look at the stats and you look at the movements that you've made, obviously playing for Northern and a little bit for the Titans and then for the Lions mainly, where I feel that a lot of people started to take note of you when you with your move to the Lions, for example. Um, can you maybe talk to me about those moves? What it was like also to go to university playing varsity cricket, etc., and how important that was in you becoming the player that you are today.
Yes, yeah, I think Varsity Cup really it's actually the first big event that puts you in front of cameras, and it puts you in front of a big crowd. So I think that part was nice, and it's very fun. It's exciting. It's nice big crowds. I think for young players, you don't get that a lot in the franchise part of it. With the way things turn out with 4-day cricket and stuff, there's not a lot of fans and stuff. So the varsity cricket and stuff, was really fun, and there was a really good level of cricket. I don't think it's far off than from first class cricket as well, especially the T20 part of South Africa Cup. So that was always challenging, and you play against a lot of guys that actually did move into franchise levels and stuff. My move from Titans to Lions was purely at that stage. I mean, I felt that would have been the best opportunities for me. There was a lot of seam bowlers at Titans and really doing well, and all of them, most of them actually playing pro tier. So it was always going to be a bit of a struggle to be a consistent player there. And then played at Lions, really had a good time. Didn't always get, I think, all that game time I really wanted, but I got good opportunities, and it helped me going to places like the T10 as well. I mean, and then I think the move to Knights, I'm really just hunger for a good bowling coach and a good bowling mentor.
Yeah, so I'm going to get in the questions a little bit later, but one particular one that I'm just want you to clear up right now is I want to know if you're Dwayne Pretorius' brother.
No, we're not. I've actually heard that question a lot as well, but yeah, no, we're not.
Yeah, because I wanted to come in there because my question was going to be that I wasn't going to be about your brother, 'cause I know it's not. But what I wanted to ask you is, I know that at the Lions, Dwayne has been, and from me talking to him as well when he chats to me, a lot of the young all-rounders in the country, especially the guys that were playing in that region, look up to him. And they said something very particular that stood out to me is that he's been a mentor to a lot of the young all-rounders just by his work ethic and and the way he conducts himself around off the field and on the field. Was he a mentor for you at the Lions? Did you get a lot of opportunities to actually like have conversations with him and ask him for advice?
Yes, yeah. I mean, I think he was one of the players that I really got along with well. I mean, just talking in general, talking just some business minds as well. And from the cricketing part, he's a really good mentor. He really helped. He was never someone that would not want to talk. I mean, I think I really appreciated his time as well. I mean, I learned a lot from him, and I learned a lot from playing with him as well. But he was definitely a guy that was always open for discussion, always open to help, and he was, his work ethic as well. It was really good.
Okay, that's awesome. But so now we know what the next step is for you. You're making another big move in your career. I feel it's actually a great move for you with regards to getting opportunity as an all-rounder, especially with now Marco Jansen moving over from the Knights and leaving to the Warriors, because I mean, I think a lot of them were putting their eggs in one basket with regards to him. They were looking at him as a future all-rounder. But now moving over to the Knights, you're going to play with his brother. Duan, you're going to be one of the main all-rounders in that side. You're going to be one of the more senior players actually in that side, because there's a lot of guys that are also going to retire. A lot of the guys that have played there consistently have moved on to other franchises. So you're going to, I would assume that you're going to be one of the cogs in that side going forward. How many? First of all, what was the reason for the move? And then I'll ask my second question. Actually,
Yeah, well, my biggest reason was that I've really felt like the past 2 years I was in need of a bowling coach, that bowling mentor. Um, I feel I don't think I'm at a stage where technique wise and stuff you kind of understand what you're all about. But I got to a phase where I felt like, okay, well, I mean, I think I want to learn a bit more about the mental part of the game and stuff. And I mean, Donald is in SA probably the best guy to learn that from. And I mean, if he showed interest as well, and that always helps a bit to know that, you know what, he's going to back in. He wants you to do well as well, and he wants you to learn as well. So from that part, it was merely a cricketing decision for me to actually go there and learn, and really, if this is really learn the few years that I'm going to be there, is to really enjoy it and learn as much as I can, because I think I've been searching for that a bit as well at Lions.
hmm so I'm gonna rather go into the comment section, because what happens tends to happen over here is questions overlap. A lot of the guys over here are asking a lot of questions, so I might as well ask them. I might as well ask you their questions. So we're going to start with Sadiq, who is a regular on the show, and he wants to know, who was your bowling hero when you were growing up?
So that was Tendulkar. After what Tendulkar listened to me, look, Shoaib Akhtar. We used to watch, as I said. Sorry for that. No, we used to watch him a lot. Bowling, as I said, with my brother and I, we used to sit at our house and just watch YouTube videos of him actually running in and destroying batsmen. So that's the easy one for me. I mean, I've always enjoyed him.
hmm That's an awesome one. And the next one would be, okay, they're going to be a bit jumbled, so they're not going to go in order. I think you're going to have to like pull information from all over the show. The next one is, how was your experience in the UAE T10 League?
How was it? Sorry, just the question again.
Yeah, how was your experience in the T10 League?
Oh, yes, that was unbelievable. I think I got a bit of a glimpse of how it is playing international cricket, and it was awesome. I mean, the guys that I played there with, it's guys that I look up to. It's guys that I see on TV, and I mean, to me, it was awesome. It was a very, very big learning curve as well, and also learning a lot about myself and what I am capable of, and how to handle precious situations, and also just enjoying the moment. That was unbelievable. It's actually, if any guy can get that opportunity, it's massive. You must go. You must enjoy it. And I think a lot of cricketers would give a lot for that. And that part I really appreciated for what it was. So yeah, it was awesome.
And if you could take one conversation that you had with a particular player, and something that when you walked away from the conversation and you were really like, wow, that was an amazing, insightful conversation, who would that be? Could you give us some insight into that?
Yeah, I sat down with Shane Watson, the one day, and spoke to him about how do you deal with, with mistakes that you make on the field. How do you deal with people, throwing bad comments, and how do you dealt with not playing, not making this team in selection. And for me, he basically just said, you know what, at the end of the day, if you know that you woke up early for practice, and you know that you really did everything that you could, you won't really have that doubt before you went into something. And he always said that never try and reenact a bad situation before it actually happened. And I think a lot of cricketers do that. They stress and they worry about how things are going to go, and you're not reenacting how well it can go, but you're reenacting how bad things can go. So it's in your mind. You already know how bad it can go, but you never know how good it can go. And for me, that was great information, and I really appreciate that from him, because that's all it's about. If you're going to back yourself, even though you're going to fail, you're probably going to fail more than you're going to succeed. But just knowing that, try and reenact success in your head. I mean, it makes it so much easier to deal with actually anything, not making teams, not doing well. It really will help for that.
Wow, that's incredible insight, actually. So the next question is actually a double-ended question. I'm gonna have to read both to you. So your main focus pace or line and length, or is it more pace and swing?
No, I mean, I try. I'm not gonna. I try and hit a very, very hard back of a length. I mean, it's harder to hit that in a quick ball that's just everywhere. That's a different skill, bowling really quick, and I think it's a complete different skill being accurate and bowling a hard back of a length. I think it's to a lot of batsmen, it's still both is equally different, equally difficult, but different. But for me, I tend not to worry too much about the pace, more about where I want to put the ball and where I want the batsman to play me.
Yeah, so obviously you'll know that the speed junkies are going to want to know this. Obviously, what is the fastest bowl kilometers per hour that you've bowled that you know of?
Probably in Abu Dhabi, the first one that I actually know of. That was 144. Don't know how correct it was, but for me, I saw it. It was there. Was not. I don't think it's consistently there, but well.
Well, that's a weapon to have, especially as an all-rounder. So I want to ask you before we get into the next question. Are you considering yourself more of a batting or bowling all-rounder, or just holistically you're just going to say all-rounder, full stop?
I think I'm at the moment a bit more bowling all-rounder. I almost want to stay there. I want to become the best bowler I can be, and with that, still be a very good batsman. But I think for me, at the moment where I am and seeing the situations of Africa as well, I think it's for me. I'm gonna focus on my bowling a lot more than my batting, but I wanna keep my batting up to par.
Okay, that's awesome. With regards to your favorite format, what is your favorite format of cricket?
I enjoy red ball cricket. I mean, I enjoy the long the setting a batsman up and stuff. So it's with easily red ball.
Mm. So, being a youngster, you're only 25. Let's talk about with regards to the red ball cricket in South Africa. I feel that it's an ongoing issue with getting younger guys, younger kids interested in the longer format. From your perspective, what can we do in South Africa to preserve the red ball game?
Yeah, that's a difficult one. I think we grew up knowing that red ball cricket was, that's what you wanted to play. You played red ball cricket at school and stuff. For the kids today, it's difficult because they're so into the white ball and they see the fame and they see them. I think a lot of them see the money in it before they see the cricketing part of it. But for schools, I think it's important in schools that that you play those 2-day games over weekends. I mean, that's how I remembered it, and that's where I actually started enjoying it. Also, I mean, it's those Cubs week and stuff. It's important also for the kids that do go through the ranks to go on those weeks. I mean, there you do play 3-day games, and you start getting the know of and the feeling of how it should be. I mean, for some it will be nice, and for some players just don't enjoy red ball cricket. It's just as simple as that. But I think if you can try and teach someone to enjoy red ball cricket first, white ball cricket will be also fun, but you always understand the game a bit better.
Awesome. The next one is, what goes through your mind when you are put under pressure on the first couple of balls of an over? What is your thought processes?
Look, for me, I tend to try and have a plan before the over. So knowing that is, at least then if something goes wrong, I know what was my plan and how I could change it and what I wanted to achieve. But I think my first overs are actually the ones that I stress the least. at the least, and then the ones at the end is probably the ones that I really do start worrying about plans and fields. I mean, I try to clear my head. I try not to look at my economy, not to look at where I've been hit, and I try not to count in my head as well how many runs I've been going to, well, did go for. I mean, that thing, if you start thinking that, if you start thinking about that, you start counting up, and you start not really giving everything and not bowling towards a plan. So, I mean, keep your head clean. It's, for me, it's the biggest thing. Keep your head clean, and don't count the runs, but rather count the balls that you actually bowled where you wanted to in the over.
That's awesome advice. The next one will also be an interesting answer I'm taking from you. Your limited overs numbers are brilliant. Low economy too. Do you like enjoying bowling at the death? And what is your plan when bowling at the death? Is your Yorker still the best ball at the death?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy death. I don't think a lot of people probably think I can bowl death, but that to me is, I feel, one of my best skills. I do bowl a Yorker, but I try to bowl a slow ball Yorker and a bit wider. I mean, that worked for me in Abu Dhabi. It really worked a lot. I think a Yorker these days are a bit difficult because guys can almost set you up for just a paddle and stuff. So that's always but it's still, if you can execute it, it's still one of the toughest balls to hit. To come back to this, I mean, I enjoy death bowling. I enjoy the setup of a batsman there. I enjoy the tense moments of it. Um, and yeah, my go-to ball is not a Yorker, just a normal pace Yorker. It is a wide, slower ball, or wide, slower Yorker. I mean, that works for me. I think a bouncer is a ball that's really been overlooked in death as well. It's, if you can execute that, it's always in most cases it's going to be a dot or a single.
Was there anybody in particular in that T10 that you turned to for advice regarding that? Did you feel that you kind of improved on that skill a lot more bowling over there against obviously top class opposition?
Yeah, I was lucky. I mean, I had Watson on my one side and Pollard on my other, and then bowling with Courtrell. I mean, it was so, for me. I mean, the funny thing is they don't give you a plan. They ask you, listen, what do you back? What's your best plan? And then what's your best ball? And they say, well, bowl that 6 balls. So, I mean, the level that they think of and the level that they play at, it's not what's your plan next, what do you want to do. You don't need to get advice from them. They almost there just to calm you down and listen back. They back you for the ball that you want to bowl, and that's a great thing. I think that's something that we can learn as well. Players going up, and captains as well. Get a player to back himself at a ball and just let him run with it, because I think 9 out of 10 times, if he feels backed on a specific ball, he'll execute it. And yeah, I mean, as I say, Watson and them, they don't tell you what balls to bowl. They're just trying to give you advice to calm down. And, they allow you to move your field and stuff. So it was a bit of an eye opener. It was the first captain that I played under that really just openly allow you to do what you want. He will be there. If he doesn't agree, he will say something, but he doesn't necessarily tell you what to do. So, and that taught me just to, if you train and practice a certain skill, back it. Don't worry about the situation. Don't worry about short boundary or long boundary. If you know you're going to execute it, back yourself and do that.
That's awesome. And another one is okay. So we've had a few chats about this because we have this show on a Wednesday evening called Legends with Ravi, where one of our more senior writers he speaks about, because he's a lot older than us on the team, so he's taken the full way. I don't know if he's gonna like me saying that, but he likes to give us lessons, or he gives me the lessons about cricket in the past. So when he was growing up, etc., and type of players that he saw, he spoke about Neil Mackenzie's superstitions. And we had a chat also with Aidan Markram, where he was saying that he enjoys having a little net before a match to get him focused. How do you prepare for a game?
Yeah, I don't have any superstitions, to be honest, but um, I'm I always have to bowl the day before a game. I always have to bowl. I'm not comfortable, even though I know I'm comfortable with what I'm going to do. For me, it's just a rhythm thing, getting into the game, and then the day before, sitting down and almost try and plan plan out, depending on the format, obviously as well, but try and plan out where I want to be in a situation of the game. How many overs I want to bowl? What's the runs I almost want to go for there? Do I want to take wickets there? So that to me is I normally try and sit down and just write something small, just to know that I've got something to fall back on if something goes wrong in the game.
Oh, that's sick. The next question is, someone like Dale Steyn was known to be a good at constructing an over and spell early in his career. Do you think you have matured enough to be able to do that now, in red ball cricket?
Um, I think I'm close to where I want to be. I don't think I'm close to where Dale Steyn was in his career, but I'm starting to know my game. I'm starting to understand my action, and that's been a strength of me. I feel in red ball cricket as well to almost set up a guy and try and keep pressure. So I think I'm close, but not there yet.
So I'm gonna add to that question or ask you a question of my own, basically. We're always talking about batting partnerships, opening partnerships, middle over partnerships, and that's where the partnerships actually lie. Whereas I feel that in bowling, it's as important. So with regards to you, and you've obviously had different bowling partners, how important is your bowler at the other end and bowling? And do you kind of have conversations before overs and say, look here, guys, I'm going to try and hold up an end and you just go for strike bowling? And do you have that type of conversations?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I really, it's just as important as any batting partnership, um, if not more. It's, I mean, that's the reason a captain changes you. I think when he's got a plan with two guys bowling together, and it's important for bowlers to understand each other as well. I mean, that's why it's also important for every bowler to spend time with the other bowlers in the team and knowing what their strengths are and how do they cope with a difficult situation. It's important to know them. It's important to know what's their best skills, what's their best balls. It makes it easier for yourself as well for the days that you are struggling. Um, but no, we do that before every game. Now we've spoken about all the batsmen, but we'll keep on talking about them, and we'll always have a plan, and we'll have to work together. Otherwise, it doesn't help the one guy doing well at the one side, and the rest are just running through.
Awesome. Another one about the T10. Do you remember Tony DeSorzi's 100 art in the T10? What do you think?
Um, Tony Zorzi's no. I don't. I don't.
That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember playing against Tony in a T10 or with him. I also don't remember a guy getting 100 in the T10 there, but I remember Tony did get 100 when they played that T20 league in Abu Dhabi.
Mm,
I mean, I obviously
that
didn't
was the
play with him
T20,
there,
yeah.
but yeah, I didn't play with him there. But I mean, I remember it was an unbelievable knock.
Yeah, thank you. Your most, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. The comments are coming in quickly, so it kind of shifts and down sometimes.
That's
Your most memorable spell of bowling.
Yeah, no, that's I think most recent one was for me was probably in the T10s. For if you go white ball, red ball was probably in I think it was 2018 when I bowled to Rassi and Nikki with the red ball and Wanderers. To me, that was we set them up so nice. That was just before Lungi got a call up again. So that red ball was definitely that one. We bowled well. We bowled long spells, but it was a great setup. I think we beat them there on day 3 as well. And then white ball cricket, definitely the T10, the one game against the Bangla Tigers, which was obviously my best figures for the tournament as well. But I enjoyed that spell particularly as well because every ball we changed the field and it was a complete setup, new setup to a different batsman. So yeah, it was the two ones that I can think of now.
Cool. And then I wanted to ask you, and as well, Sadiq wants to ask you, what was the feeling like when you didn't get a gig at the MSL?
Um, in a way, it's you do feel a bit of a disappointment, but I also knew that I was going to a competition that's probably a bit bigger. So I didn't feel like I wasn't good enough. I mean, sometimes you get people you just don't fit into a side or what their plans are. So I was disappointed, but in another view as well, I got the opportunity to go overseas and play with players that's been playing international cricket. So I think if I did get an MSL deal, I probably wouldn't have had that opportunity to go over. So I'm not sad about it. I mean, I got an opportunity that very few people in SA will get to go to. So it's a bit of a 50-50.
That's true. Can you give an insight? Okay, this is an awesome question. Can you give some insight into who are the good up and coming batters who will make you struggle a bit? Let's go with an age gap because I want to go younger than you. Maybe go no older than 23.
Yeah. So I'll try and think of it, but just to think of two quick ones. I mean, I'm gonna play with Reinhard van Tonder as well, but I think he's younger than 23. I hope so. But he's bowling against him. He's a very very solid batsman. He doesn't really give a lot away. And then another guy that I also played with was Joshua Richards from Lions now. I mean, a very attacking player, but also I can really see him really moving up and doing well for them as well. I mean, he's a attacking player, but also a well-minded batting player as well. So I think for those two guys, I think there's a really good future. I can't think of someone else now. These are just the two that I recently played with, but they're very exciting players, and I mean I think they've got a long career ahead of them.
I remember Joshua and okay, Reynard, I'm a big fan of. I know Reynard for quite some time. We are going to get him on the show soon next week. I remember watching Joshua Richards play at Kai Majorda week, and I remember clearly how upset he was when he went out. He doesn't like to lose his wicket. That guy. That's the one thing I know for sure. So you've played a lot of provincial cricket compared to franchise. What is the difference in the standard of pitches and the competition itself?
I think the pitches are sometimes a bit flatter, but
Ooh, you just muted. I don't know what happened. You must just unmute yourself quickly.
oh man. There you go.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think the pitches are too different. They all sometimes feel a bit flat because it's 3 days, and you have to almost you struggle to get the freedom you want. But standard wise, there's a bit of a standard difference. There definitely is. But I think it's just more patient. The guys just have a bit more patience. They do play your prop good balls. They do play it a bit better. They don't take as many risks, and they definitely don't give you chances of if you're bowling shit the day. Well, sorry about that, but if you're bowling terrible that day, I mean they're gonna put you away. They don't give you chances.
Yeah, don't worry. We haven't marked the kid friendly on YouTube, so it's cool.
Sorry.
No, so Ravi says he's a season campaigner. That was who I was talking about earlier on. Let me go to one of his questions. He says, which batsman do you think will be more challenging to bowl to, Rapascagli or Smith or Kohli?
Yeah, I think Steve Smith is difficult because he moves around a lot. A lot of bowlers, like me as well, I like getting in a channel and try and stay there. Where a guy like Smith, to me, it will probably be Smith because he moves so much. You never feel comfortable, But the other two batsmen are class. I mean, Kohli is obviously the best in the world, or almost one of the best in the world. But for me, I think Steve Smith. I think it's a nightmare to bowl to him.
The next question is going to be tied with one of Sadiq's ones because it's about your goals in the future. And but Ravi wants to make it a little bit more tough for you and ask you: is there a year in which you are aiming to become a Protea?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to answer because it's yeah, but I think if I can get a cap in the next 2 years, I mean, I will be very happy. There's always a lot of work, but I don't think it's a goal. I think it's a dream. I mean, a goal is a bit different for me, but I mean, it will be a goal to do well to get there, but it's a dream to play for them, and hopefully in the next years I can get a sniff of it.
So I'm going to ask you one more cricket question from the fans, and then we'll go into fans questions about non-related cricket things.
Yeah.
So with regards to Ravi again, he said that he saw you at the Wanderers. What was it like bowling to an inform Rasif van der Dussen?
Yeah, it was. I mean, those players are, they they don't try too many different things. They just play. They play in their game plan very well. I mean, to Rassi, it was if you bowled well, I mean, he respected your bowling, and it was nice. It was a challenge. And I mean, it's, as I said, at the end of the day, that I think that game was a bit more in our favor, so it helped us a bit more when they weren't that attacking. But it's always a challenge. And Rassi, I know he's an attacking player, and he really plays all around the ground. So it's difficult, but it's also a nice challenge.
Yeah, I feel like Rassi is actually a really good example to the youth in the future of how cricket should be played and what your attitude should be like. I mean, he showed that resilience to fight through and till he got his debut. So I think it's obviously you would have also learned from him with regards to that. Can you maybe talk to me about that and what impact he had on you?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's his story. I think is for any cricketer is really something that you can learn from. And I mean, Rassi, as same as Dwayne as well. I mean, we got along. We got along well, and he's a bit more chilled. He likes hitting balls a lot. Same as Vesey. They like hitting a lot, and I think but he as well. He was always open for a conversation, and always open to help where he can. In the games, I mean, his game plans and stuff is good. So I mean, you can always learn from it, and it was nice hearing from him as well. A lot of the times, where you almost feel in doubt of what you have to do, and he's a very calm-minded person. I think you can see that with his batting as well. So it was very nice having him beside me as well in games and stuff, and even on the training grounds.
And what about Riza and Timber?
Yeah, Riza's a bit more quiet. Also, it doesn't mind if doesn't mind if you ask him for help and stuff. But he is a bit more quiet, a bit more on his own. Temba is also, he's always open for discussion, and he likes you to bowl at him. And I enjoyed bowling at him and try something. That helped a lot because he plays different lengths other than Rassi and Bill that's a bit taller than him. So it was always nice learning from a guy like that as well. That the way he plays it and what he thinks and what he expects of bowling. So I mean, I enjoyed it. I learned a lot from all of them.
Awesome. And then now we're going to go on to non-cricket related things, still sport, I guess. Are you a rugby fan? I'll take it you are. What are your thoughts on SA potentially leaving Super Rugby and heading to Europe?
Uh, I am a rugby fan. I probably don't watch as much as I used to. I think at the end of the day, opportunity wise, it's going to be good for all players as well. I mean, it's probably negative if you think about it in a money way, but it's always a reality as well. I think there is a bit more monetary value for the players there, and looking at the clubs and what the opportunities they give. I think it's good for players here that's also struggling a bit to get their name out there.
And if it wasn't cricket for you, what else would you have been doing if it wasn't cricket?
Yeah, I wanted to go to study. I mean, I was always a fan of engineering. If I didn't play cricket, I would have probably went and finished that. I am studying now, but for me, I think it would just be too difficult to study engineering and play cricket at the same time. But I would have always played some sport here and there, golf and tennis and stuff. So yeah, but I would have went and studied and worked.
And for example, now in lockdown, obviously we know that there's a lot of time on your hands now, besides your training, etc. What other things have you been doing? Are you a Netflix fan, PS4 fan?
Actually, no, I don't. I don't play PS4 or any games. I don't watch that much TV. I like building stuff. I like taking stuff apart. I've in this lockdown, I was busy building a old '86 BMW K75 that I changed completely and made it a cafe racer. So that kept me busy probably most of the time. And then other than that, a bit of studying here and there. So yeah, it was always something to do.
Yeah. Talk to me more about that. What are some of the projects that you've worked on? I mean, that's an amazing ability to have to be able to take cars apart to put them together, etc. Um, how many projects have you worked on, and where did you get that passion from for that?
Yeah, well, I think I got that passion from my dad. You know, he likes being busy. We built a squat rack for us at our house because I mean it obviously was lockdown, so that was something small, and we built a bench rack and stuff like that. And obviously the motorcycle was busy with, and then small things around the house. I like building wine racks, and I like building anything. I see that I think it's cool. So I mean I haven't. It's a bit difficult at home to do that, but I always keep myself busy with small things like that. I mean, so you open up hair dryers and just do anything, basically.
I think you'll get along very well with Lance Clues, though. Who also told us he was building things on that episode of On Lockdown. He was doing a lot of woodwork, etc., building with his hands. So, hey, all rounders, eh? Must be something about the all rounder thing, eh?
Yeah, no, definitely. I have to keep my hands busy as well.
So, Michael, thanks a lot for coming on the show. I really enjoyed getting to know you better. I'm sure the fans did too. I mean, lastly, I just want you to give a message to them, Cricket Fanatics magazine fans.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And I mean, it's always nice to give back a bit to our supporters and all the fans out there. But as a cricketing player or as any sport player in SA, I mean, it's actually you're a lot closer than you think. And always remember that don't let money and stuff like that change your way forward. Always remember the passion for the game. And then at least one day, if you have that, failure is always a lot less.
Thanks a lot, Michael. And guys, to everybody out there, I'm going to be putting this video with Michael. I'm going to be putting this on our YouTube channel. Obviously, he's on our YouTube channel already, but on our website as well. I'm going to share it to our fans again. I'll send you the link so you can share it with your friends and your family and etc. And anybody else that wants to watch it back. To the fans out there that have watched, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe and press the notification bell and all those things. You know what to do. We're going to be looking to do more of these. Next week, we have quite a busy schedule, but thanks a lot for tuning in. I see that there's one more question if you just want to answer it. Cool, then you might as well. You play the match as an all-rounder, but was a side like Russell and Pollard and Callis, Watson, Stocks. I don't understand the question. Anyway, let me ask you this one, Michael. Who would you like to see on the Legends with the Ravi?
Yes. To be honest, I I don't know. If you just think of it as an all-free player, I don't know if Donald was on there, but I would actually like to hear him have a few words there.
Cool. Thanks a lot for that.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot, Michael, and I'll chat to you again soon. Good luck with all your ventures.
Cheers.
To your family. Stay safe and healthy.
Thank you. Cheers. You too. Bye.
You.